Today what I want to focus on is on dahlias, and in particular I did an experiment this year. I've been doing dahlias for a couple years. First year I totally bombed it, and I left a lot of them in the ground, and most of them rotted just from the way the drainage was and the conditions. So I started learning about digging them up and some different parts about propagating them, things like that. So I'll teach you some of the things I'm learning about that. But in particular today, I want to focus on an experiment where I took my dahlia bulbs I had dug up, and I had a pretty good assortment, I don't know, 30, 40 separate quality plants ready to go. And I took several of them and I put them in pots buried in the ground, and some of them I just buried in the ground like you normally would plant. And I wanted to see, would they grow any different if they were in a pot in the ground versus not. One of the strategies or ideas was, if they're in a pot, I could go and take those, easily pull them out, and just easy to store each year. It kind of keep things contained, so I can kind of mark what is what, where things go. So I tried that out, and I'll take you over and let you kind of see what some of those might look like. On the other side of this little fence, I've put several different dahlias. I've got some other ones back in the far parts of the yard, so I'll take you back there a little later and show you some of those. But about half of these dahlias here along this fence are in pots, and half of them are not. And so I'll kind of see if you can tell the difference. So check this out. And it might be kind of a challenge to see, but these first couple, these are actually in the ground here. And then several of those last ones are in pots. Coming along here, you can see how I've got the pot buried in there. That's a pretty, I don't know how many gallons that is, but several gallon pot. So all of these on this side are in pots. You can kind of see what they look like. And backing up, they're healthy. I mean, they're blooming. They've been going great all summer long. It's what are we at, beginning of September now, and doing really well. This one down here, I don't think this is the pot. I think this is either a variety that I accidentally mixed in, or it was a bulb that just wasn't as strong, because it's been a slow growing one. And I think this flower here is part of another plant, so we'll see how that one turns out. But coming back over here, most of these are not in pots, so they're actually buried in the ground. And again, you can compare. There's the orange one, just like on the other side, doing just as well. This is a one of a kind that I don't have in other spots. It's some sort of a pinkish purple one. It's a smaller variety, but again, this one's in a pot. And this yellow one here at the end is in a pot, doing quite well. Let me take you over to a couple other ones. Okay, we're on the other side of the yard here, and if you remember the red ones I was just showing you a moment ago, these are the same red ones, and looking over this Rose of Sharon, there's an orange one. Now, these things are a good 3 feet, at least taller than the other side there. And these are not in pots, they're in the ground, but this is a really, it's got a lot of good soil mixed in. It's well watered. So these things are, I'm 6 feet tall, and these things are at least 7, 8 feet tall, and doing really, really well. There's two different varieties mixed in, kind of this fire version and this big tall red version. It's kind of hard to see with the sun going down there. Right, and then coming back here closer to the house, I got some of those same kind of fire ones back there. And you know, if you were to see kind of what those were level, those things are definitely taller than I. So definitely in this experiment, just looking at them, the dahlias that are planted in pots are doing well, but they're not quite as tall, quite as healthy as those that are in the ground. And definitely the soil watering is making a huge difference. In the last few, these are some other ones I had in pots here. You can see, and these dahlias are, I mean, they're doing okay, they're healthy, but definitely don't have the height of those other ones. You know, they're a couple feet tall, and some of those are the same varieties as some of those other ones that we've had here. So it's been kind of a good thing, but I would say putting them in the ground, good soil is best. Pots are not a terrible thing, but the more spacious, the better for the dahlias, especially some of those tall blooming ones.